Hello everyone, welcome to the part 2 of Diary of Greg Heffley's Best Friend by Greg Heffley's Best Friend. So we completed the chapter Early Life. Now we're on to the chapter The Stuff from the 4th grade on. The Stuff from 4th grade on. I moved to Greg's Street in the 4th grade. So now, this biography is going to get a lot more detailed. After me and Greg met, we had a few play dates at my house and few play dates at his house. Oh yeah, I forgot. Greg doesn't like it when I call them play dates. So I will have to change that in my second draft or else I'm gonna get whacked again. Anyway, me and Greg hung out a lot at each other's houses, but then one day he invited me to his house for a sleepover. I was pretty nervous because I never stayed over at a friend's house before. In fact, I wasn't even sleeping in my own bed yet because I was scared. Okay? See, him being scared. I told my mom I was too nervous to stay at Greg's, but I got a little less nervous when she said I could take carrots with me. His doll, carrots. When I got to Greg's, we hung out in his room for a while, but at 9, Mrs. Heffley said it was time to go to bed, and she said we had to sleep in the basement. Well, now I was super nervous because I think basements are really creepy. See, do you think basements are creepy? I don't know. Never thought about it. As soon as Mrs. Heffley turned the lights off, Greg told me he needed to tell me something important. He said there's a half man, half goat that lives in the woods in our neighborhood, so I probably shouldn't go alone at night. See, Greg telling him a spooky story about half goat, half man. Well, I was not happy to hear that news, and I really wished someone told my parents about this goat guy before we moved into the neighborhood. Anyway, the goat thing got me totally spooked, so I hid under the covers. But I think Greg got pretty spooked too, because he crawled under them with me. See, they both are really scared, stood up. Then, all of a sudden, there was this crazy noise right outside the window, and it sounded exactly like half a goat man, half goat would sound. How did they know the sound a half man and half goat would make? Okay, and there is this sound. Oh. Me and Greg didn't want to get eaten by this goat guy, so we got out of there as fast as we could. But we almost died anyway because we trampled each other running up the stairs. See? We locked ourselves in the laundry room so the goat man couldn't get us. But that's when we found out it wasn't the goat guy at all. It was just Greg's brother, Roderick, playing a trick on us. See, Roderick playing a trick on them. That's not funny. Okay, so this next part is embarrassing. But since it's a biography, I've got to tell the whole truth. I wet my pants when we were in the basement and heard those noises outside. Oh my god. Mrs. Heffley gave me an extra pair of Greg's underwear, but they didn't fit. So my dad had to come come get me and bring me home. And it was a long time before I was allowed to go to Greg's for another sleepover. See, his dad taking him back. He looked sad. Okay, this is the end of the chapter 2. We're gonna hop on to the next chapter because these chapters are pretty small. Okay, the next chapter. An even more scary story. There's a scarier story coming ahead. Okay, while I'm on the topic of scary stuff, I want to tell a story about something that happened a couple of years ago. One time, I was at my grandpa's log cabin with my dad for the weekend and we took a hike and I kind of got dirty. Well, technically it was my dad's cabin because my grandpa died the year before. I called my grandpa Bampy. The reason I called him that is because when I was 2, I couldn't say grandpa. See, him calling his grandpa Bampy. That's an interesting name. But then, even when I got older, I could say grandpa, nobody would let me change it. And when my grandpa got older, it's the only word he really said. See, his parents saying, "We love you, Dad," and he said, "Bampy." Oh, his grandfather died. That's sad. So anyway, back to the story. After I got dirty from that hike, my dad said I had to take a shower. But Bampy's cabin is really old and it doesn't have a shower. It just has one of these creepy old-fashioned tubs. Okay? Old-fashioned tubs. I don't think that's old-fashioned. So after I filled up the tub with water, I got in. Here's what happened next. I heard footsteps coming down the hall and I thought it was my dad bringing me a towel or something. From Dad? Then the door opened real slow, but there was no one there. Well, that's spooky. And if you're thinking, "Oh, Rowley, it was probably your dad playing a trick on you," well, guess what? It wasn't. My dad was getting me some milk at the store and he didn't come back until like half hour later. Oh my God, poor thing, he's scared. I'm so scared. I'm scary. I told my dad what happened with the door and he said it was probably just the wind. Probably. But I know it was the ghost of Bambi. See? Bambi. Okay, this is the end of the next chapter and I think that's it. We'll continue with the third part. The time I saved Greg from Tevin Larkin's birthday party. We'll continue with the next part in part 3. Thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe to the channel. And make sure to wear